Haley Van Lith back in the portal again. Here we go again. In this video, we are going to look back at the LSU experience, and for once, I'm not going to crush Haley Van Lith. I am going to commend her for taking a risk. Then we will take a look at what is in the future for LSU and if truly they are better off, as well what is in the future for Haley Van Lith and what schools she might be considering going to. Could a reunion be in the works? We will cover it all. Before we start, if you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like, and if you like the channel and the content, please subscribe to it. All right, let's get into this. Now, the last time Haley Van Lith went into the portal, I had a bomb exploding. Well, this time, I guess this is two bombs because it's even more surprising. Maybe surprising, maybe not. But what is clear is the last video I did was how Haley would return to LSU and seek redemption. Angel Reese would return and they would run it back, and here they go again. It'd be the redeem team. Well, that is clearly off the table. First, Angel Reese declares for the draft, and then Haley Van Lith looks around and says, nope, I'm out of here. This is not working for me. There was speculation that she might enter the WNBA draft, but the time to enter has passed, and she did not put her name down on the list of eligible players. And then word leaked out that she was in the transfer portal, and here we go. And in some ways, this is not surprising because, as I said in the previous video, she could not go in the WNBA draft because she went to LSU in hopes of showing the WNBA that she could play point guard, and that was the dream, and to put her full game on display, win a championship, and then right on to the WNBA and start her career there. And something that I did not say in the last video is good for her. What's wrong with taking a chance, moving from where you're comfortable, going someplace different, and taking a risk? I have no problems with it whatsoever. It did not work out, but I commend her, if you like, for taking the risk, trying to go to LSU, being on a rock star team. It just didn't work out, and that happens in life. There's nothing wrong with trying something different and it not working. You know, you put yourself out there, you fail, you get back up and try to do something different, and essentially that's what she's doing. Good on her. It sounds like the best thing that she got out of going to LSU was learning to tune out the noise and take heat and not worrying about it. She said, but one thing they can't argue with is at this point, I know how to fend for Haley and I know how to fight for Haley, and that's going to help me at the next level. Now, that quote was given prior to the UCLA game, and it seemed for all money that, yeah, she was lining up to go to the WNBA, but I imagine she had a rethink after the Iowa game, as that game really did solidify her as being at least the third point guard off the board for the WNBA draft if she was to enter, as J.C. Sheldon and Charisma Osborne definitely would have gone ahead of her, in my opinion. Going to LSU was a disaster in terms of basketball and showcasing her skills, but if it made her a stronger person and happier playing basketball and the ability to tune out the noise, then that's great. I mean, at least she got something from it, as that is a skill that she is going to need, as I think people are naturally going to gravitate to hate on her, and it's for a number of reasons. First of all, she's attractive, and then combine that with her being cocky and self-assured and is talented. That's a combination that a lot of people are gonna not like or be jealous of. So I understand why people go after her, and I think a lot of it is jealousy, but at the same time, she doesn't do herself much favors. Like the Taylor Rooks interview was a disaster. She set herself up on that. And then, like in this quote, when you go third person talking in terms of Haley needs this or Haley, it's not good. She needs to learn to drop the third person, but I don't mind. It doesn't bother me in the least, but I think that's why she's going to take a lot of incoming. And if she's learned to deal with that better at LSU, then in the long run, that's a win. I don't think LSU is going to mind her leaving, as it really just was not a good fit. I wonder if they will go ahead and make Michaela Williams the point guard, and if that will be a better fit, much like Texas made Madison Booker the point guard, and she flourished, I think, overall. And if you have Michaela Williams, point guard, Johnson at the off guard, then Anissa Morrow, small forward, Samaya Smith at power forward, and then Del Rosario playing center, I think that looks better than playing the whole Haley game. And is she a point guard, off guard? How do we fit her in? It doesn't really work. She hurts our defense. I think it's better for them for her to move on, for LSU and for Haley Van Lith. Now, where does she go? That's the million-dollar question. I see three options really stick out to me. The first option is, could she go back to Louisville? It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Haley did not realize how well Jeff Walz utilized her, and as well, Jeff Walz did not realize how great a player Haley Van Lith was and how desperately he needed to score after getting eliminated in the first round. The narrative would have been, hey, I had to go somewhere different to see how wonderful Louisville was, and now I realize, and I'm so happy to be back home with my family and my teammates. I can already see the news stories and think pieces. Haley had to be happy inside before she could be happy at Louisville. She found that, and now she's found back at her home. Something cheesy like that. So that is the Louisville scenario. Now, speaking of home, that leads into the next two options, which is going to California, which is closer to home. Now, I saw USA Today suggested she might go to Washington State or Oregon State. I just don't see that because of the upheaval of they're not in the Pac-12, and it seems very uncertain. I would think if she wants to be near home, the two options would be either UCLA, that needs a point guard now that Charisma Osborne's gone into the draft. She could slide in there and work with Kiki Rice, or Stanford, that also needs more guard help and sort of struggled all season with their outside shooting at times. As well, the benefit of going to both of those schools would be that they are in the ACC, which she's familiar with from her time at Louisville. Now, a fourth wildcard option that I will give, but I don't think it's really serious, is could she go to Iowa to be the replacement for Caitlin Clark? Lisa Bluter says, come on to Iowa. We will rebuild your image. We will put you in the Caitlin Clark scenario where you handle the ball, they double, you throw it to your other four shooters, and the Iowa show continues. Now, the problems with that, or the danger in that, obviously, is you don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy that replaces the guy. And she's setting herself up for another tough scenario and putting herself in comparison to one of the greatest guards ever, Caitlin Clark. And if she was to join there, they'd probably show all the videos of Caitlin Clark torching her and saying, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what she's doing, much like how KD joined the Golden State Warriors. Totally different scenario because Caitlin Clark's not actually there, but I could probably make a video out of it and maybe get a few views. But overall, good news for Haley Van Lith. I think she's made the right decision going back to the portal. I'll be curious to see what her dad and she come up with in terms of where she should go next, as I suspect they are going to be very strategic in thinking about the playing style that suits her best. As well, ultimately, I think it's good news for LSU as they need to commence rebuilding, and or not rebuilding, but building around Michaela Williams and letting her handle the ball and run the show. Your comments and poison welcome. Thanks a lot for watching. Good night.